So then the next day, Carmen worked with them to work on what Charlie said was an instruction manual for all of their letters.
I was just wondering that. I had just written down.
Yeah, so I think that was kind of I feel like that was a missing piece with the other two times that we did it. We were, obviously just trying to like figure out what we were even doing. But yeah, so naming, labeling, adding those pieces to their maps and coming up with a code, coming up with an instruction manual, putting language to it and kind of like making it more concrete. Those were all steps I think naturally brought back in a lot of the concepts that we were, hoping that it would. Yeah. So then we had planned last week from our staff meeting to ask, what is a letter map? And honestly, I just don't know. I mean, they were very distracted. I think, so much time has passed. So I guess I was like, well, I think that it was way too long-winded, but this is what, this was the snapshot version. But yeah.
I wonder if taking the pressure off of, maybe this is a square peg in a round hole situation. Maybe this is simply not, it's not discrete, literacy content. It's not. It's like the things like word families that help children build those, skills that they need to read and write. That's not what this is. Yet it is meaningful interaction and relationship development with letters and therefore, letters and words and literacy concepts. So I'm wondering if maybe it's worth shifting the way you all are viewing it just a little bit so that you decrease the pressure to try to make it fit with actual literacy content. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because then the other thing is they still need that literacy content,
Yeah, I think I'm torn. I think that their buy-in with letter maps and that piece, I feel like it could be a both and.
Do you?
Yeah,
I was wondering if the attempt at both and might be adding pressure, but it also could not be. I
think that the part that feels okay to me is that their investment in this would be way higher than our standard approach at Language Lab.
Right.
Because it's physical. It is it is imaginative. It has literally endless possibilities. And so I, of course, how I'm like, well, this is not very focused or, whatever. And so I want to I can very easily, in 5 minutes, we can talk about all the rhyming words for the word cat. And that's fine. But
right.
So, we talked about this a lot yesterday in staff meeting about, and Emily shared with me about what you had said about okay, so is it really doing the, is it functioning as Language Lab,
that was fine.
And so I feel like I'm not ready to have this just be a project that's separate, because I think that I think that continuing as a teaching team, continuing to try to find the right provocation or the right questions or something that being really thoughtful about those prompting questions and how we're guiding the project. I think could we're just not there. We just haven't thought of the right. We haven't thought of the question.
Well, then that's your answer. It sounds like you have your answer then.